and welcome to Trashtalk on Battlegroup, where I will be talking about the various ship hulls you could put in your fleet in Lancer Battlegroup, and in this episode, we will be talking about the Battleship, Part 1. The Battleship class has no special rule, well, other than the fact that every single one comes with at least one super heavy slot to carry a gigantic gun. All battleships also have a unique trait that dramatically changes how your battlegroup works. Essentially, a battleship is built around a gun, and a battlegroup is built around a battleship, if you have one. They are also some of the toughest units on field, so it can take a lot to take one down, but at the same time, it never feels enough, because oh boy, the enemies are almost certainly going to be focusing on your battleship, not just because they are often the most heavily invested unit in your battlegroup, but also because of the big gun. Let's explain what super heavy is. There are two types of super heavy weapons, the charge weapon, and everything else. Any super heavy that doesn't charge can be fired as a part of a maneuver, while charge gun, as their name implied, need multiple rounds to charge up, but they fire automatically on their own when they are done charging up. The most commonly used super heavy charge gun is probably the long cycle primary lance, with charge 3 tag, meaning, if nothing goes wrong, it fire automatically on turn 3 and turn 6, and more often than not, most battlegroup matches end on turn 3 or 4 because the sheer amount of firepower unleashed on those turns have basically decided the winner. Even worse, all super heavy charge gun also has critical tag, meaning, the damage double on a 20+, so things could get even worse. Very often, the result of a battle can be decisively determined by these super heavy charge guns, and when they miss, you will feel the oof. Anyway, let's move on to the actual battleships, starting with the GMS battleships, which are, once again, the no-nonsense reliable ones that work in just about any situation. You can always count on them. The Armory is a 6-point battleship with one super heavy, one primary, two auxiliary, and one system. That's a lot of firepower packed into one vessel, and it gets even better due to its trait, Paragon, which for once per round lets it add 1 accuracy to any attack roll made by you or an allied battle group in the same range band, and for once per engagement, this can be increased to 3 accuracy. I don't think it takes a genius to guess where's the best place to put that 3 accuracy. It's gonna be very hard to miss and obtain a planetary size due from the miss with the Armory. The Thorough is instead a 7-pointer battleship that's all about firing all the guns. It has one super heavy, 2 primary, and 2 auxiliary, no system here, and it has a trait called Barrage Doctrine, which when firing the primary as a part of all ahead full maneuver, you can fire twice the auxiliary weapons instead. That might not sound like much, but it can make a difference when it adds on. However, what you are really looking for when getting the Thorough is this is Unleash Hell, and it's exactly what it said. You get to unleash the firepower of 1 super heavy and 2 primary, or 4 primary total, add in firepower from your frigates or carriers too, and even better, every primary fired is also an auxiliary fired, so that's even more firepower. It might even be enough that you could destroy an enemy capital ship before they could finish charging up their big gun in one go. Next up, the Harrison Armory battleships, or dreadnoughts as that's how they called their battleships, which like their frigates, are highly advanced specialized designs that are also just completely unorthodox. You will get what I meant in a second. The Louis XIV is a 7-pointer with 1 super heavy, 1 primary, and 2 systems that at first glance looks like it's way too fragile for a battleship. Well, take a look at its trait, Pinpoint Aegis, which gives the battlegroup 1d6 interdiction on top of the base interdiction you get, meaning you don't need to worry about missiles that much. The battleship also has of all things, overshield mechanic that regenerates every turn, giving it effectively 20 hit points. And on top of that, it also gains +2 defense when the overshield is up, giving it 15 defense, which is quite high, making it one of the toughest battleships to take down. And it gets even better, because it also has projected black shield, giving you or an allied battlegroup 3d6 interdiction as well as +4 defense to a single vessel in the selected battlegroup for a turn. The chosen vessel is also immune to critical hit. What does this mean? It means that some eggheads in Harrison Armory aren't just trying to make a ship that can reliably laugh off super heavy attack, they're also making a ship that can make other ships potentially laugh it off too. Of course, that's only when it actually works. When it doesn't, well, let's not find that out. Finally, there's the Michel Ney. I give you one guess what this thing does based on its look. 7-point, normal amount of hit points, 1 super heavy, 2 primary, and 1 systems. The Michel Ney has a trait called Blink Space Carver, which doesn't actually lets it move faster. What it does is let it fires a primary weapon when doing retrograde burn maneuver, before or after moving. Meaning, you can always hurt something no matter where you are moving, even when moving backward to maintain your range. It also has tactical blink tunneler, a special maneuver that lets you move up and down a range band, get bolstered which adds a bit onto the defense, and get to fire either a super heavy or two primary, giving you mobility, defense, and firepower all at once. You might also notice that both Harrison armor dreadnoughts have no auxiliary slots, and in a way, they kinda don't need to. The Lewis 14th has its trait to provides for defense against projectile, beam, and missiles, while in the Michelny, you will probably be moving a lot, possibly backward, which means retrograde burn, which means getting bolstered, which means more protection. Of course, it could never hurt to have more stuff between you and missiles, so I suggest some frigates with auxiliary. And that's all on these battleships that I have reviewed, from the Muri that's very precise on what it wants to do to its foes, the Thorough that's very aggressive on what it wants to do to its foes, the Lewis 14th that wants to keep everyone alive, and the Michelny that wants to get in and get out fast. Anyway, that's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.